Sorry guys, I ended up pressing the stop button instead of the pause button. I just heard my son cough a little bit. I just wanted to go check up on him. So what I'm going to do here is I added a bit more of the caput mortem onto my blending dish, and I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit more in certain areas while it's still a little damp. And just gently blend that in. Yep, some of that color is peeping through, and you know what? I don't mind at all. Not one bit. And the darker area would generally be right around here. Having two brushes always helps. And I will most likely do the same technique that I did the last time by going over all the lines with a damp, clean brush. So I'm not too worried right now about any unevenness that I might see, any patchiness. It's actually turning out to look pretty good right now. But anything that I see right here, I'm gonna let that sit for a moment. And I am going to clean this up right here. I'm just going to gently go across right there. It wouldn't have been such a big deal, but just wanted to show you how I do it. It doesn't remove everything 100%, but it does help. Alright, so I'm going to go right into this top area with the ultramarine, but I am going to darken it up with a bit of the indigo. But this right here just looks way too good to leave alone. Give me a second here. I want to try something. I added a bit more yellow into this mix. Here. So I'm working with like a really pretty light olive green or pea green, I don't know. But I want to bring that color in because all of this area is still damp. So I can bring all this in. See, look at that nice edge there that this brush has. It's just really good. I'm going to gradually, where am I going? I keep coming over here. The paint is right here. I'm going to gradually add a bit more of the yellow in there. Wow, this is nice. These paints are much more nicer than I expected. And down here, I'm just spreading the love here. And then these are definitely fall colors. All right, and then I'm going to go back to the caput mortem. I know, a little crazy, just hang with me here. This is the caput mortem and burnt umber mixture. This could work or go really bad. Whew. Having two brushes does help. Oh, and of course the sun is going to play peekaboo, so I'll adjust the lighting. There we go. That's just natural light, you guys. There we go. I'll make sure to look up at my cell phone often to make sure that everything looks good. I would usually press pause right now and just do this on my own, but I think you guys would like to see the blendy blend happen. I'm not saying you can't do this wet onto dry, but it does help that this area is still damp. So I'm going to begin to add a bit more color little by little. And I'm not that great with light direction, but this area right over here is the highest, and it's on an angle, you know, the way it's folded over the fabric. So I'm letting myself be taken by that. So just kind of go back and forth with that. And then we'll just gently mix everything. And you know what? Even if some of that color did come into this area, it'll be fine. Okay. So now going back down, kind of going back and forth. I think I'm going to need the larger brush, so let me clean it off. I'm going to grab some of the color from down here, and I'm going to bring it back up and meet the blend. Just like that. Yep. Looks like I've colored outside the lines in some areas, but that's okay. We'll clean it up. But see, over here, sorry guys, see what a beautiful blend that gave? If you do it little by little, you can get away with it. Not exactly the look I was planning, I'll be honest. But I think it looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to glaze over this area. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and press pause now. I'm gonna tidy this up. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I wanted to show you really quickly how I go here on the edge and just gently take my brush and go over any of the areas that I maybe went outside of the line a little bit. Usually I do this towards the end, but for some reason it is bothering me. It is bothering me today that I did it so early on. I think I was just too excited. See, like right here. And what that does is it'll push out a little bit of the color, depending on the technique, you know, on the artist. But for me, it pushes out some of that color. And it does have a little bit of shading right there. And I don't mind that at all. See, a little bit over here as well. I don't mind that at all. Just cleaning up, and if you notice, got a little washed out here, and that's my fault. That's because I overworked it. So, you know, I'll come back to that. Just wanted to be 100% transparent here. So let's go ahead and do a light little grayish mix here for his beard, and my go-to is the cerulean and Indian red mixture, but in this case I'm going to use the dragon's blood, so the cerulean and dragon's blood from that Taylor Brownie, and it just gives a really nice light grayish color. I'm just gonna go over everything. Yep, see, like right here, I'll probably get some bleed through of the kaput mortem from earlier, but that's okay. Basically just a soft application of color, super light. And then to just keep the edges less hard, I'm going to gently, and I know this is going to bring in some of that color, just gently come up right there on the edges. And just take my brush and go over everything. You don't need to do this. This is just me being a little extra. If I overdo it too much, it'll sometimes wash out the area too. So I do have to be careful. But if anything, I can use that light Caput Mortem as, look at that, perfect shading right here. This is just super light. Yep. That's gonna look really nice when it's dry. Okay. This is turning out to look pretty good so far. It might look a little patchy right now, but wow, this is great. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit more around here. And right here, because he has a grand beard and mustache combo there. All right, simple as that. Let's go ahead and paint his little moccasins up. I'm gonna use some, let's see, it's called Castle Earth. It's from Renaissance Polska. Go ahead and use some of that. I actually have a new shipment of some colors coming in from that brand this week. Just made the order, what's today, Sunday? I made the order Friday night, so yeah, April will send that out. I'm pretty sure tomorrow morning. And it's just a restock of some colors that I love to use. This is actually that Castle mixed with whatever I had left from that Dragon's Blood and Cerulean Blue mixture, so a little bit of everything there. Just going to push back that color just a bit. Just like that. And then I can come back later on and tidy that up. Okay. Let's go ahead and begin to work on his skin. Usually I give my gnomes some gloves. That's what I see a lot of online. But I'm gonna make, these three areas the same color. And I have a combination of the burnt umber, Naples yellow reddish, those two colors seem to be a decent mixture for just a simple skin tone. And yep, I should be able to get away with it. Just very lightly. This is a number 4 Velvet Touch by Princeton. It's a good brush. Just a little bit down here. heavier in this area and then lighter towards the top, depending on the look you're going for. And then dark to light again on this area. And right here. Okay. I'm going to press pause for just one moment. I'm going to mix some of the burnt sienna so we can bring this out. Some of the, the details out here. I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back, and what I did was I cleaned up the hat area. That should dry pretty nicely, but I might need to touch it up again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in right here with the darker blue-green and just gently blend that in this corner, and that's just going to make this area pop a little bit more. And I'm thinking I can do the same thing right around here. Take it out a little bit and then bring it back. All right, so let me do that for the other side. I also will bring it in right here. If I had more folds, I could really go I could go to town with this. It's one of my favorite techniques to do, is make one area pop out by darkening up the area behind it. Take some tweaking, but I think it's looking pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and begin working on las calabazas. And I need a nice, deep, rich burnt sienna, so I'm using the Van Gogh burnt sienna. I am playing around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by adding a good amount of the burnt sienna. Right in there. And just begin to do that. All right, so I'll do a couple of them with you guys, and then I'll do the rest on my own. This is a perfect example of how these Van Gogh colors are just amazing. They're easily dismissed as student grade, but there's so much more than that. They are just, I think they're 10 times better than the Cotman colors. Here in the US, a Cotman tube will run you about either $4 or $5.99 for a 7 or 8 ml tube. And the Van Gogh is for the same price, and you get a higher pigment load, just higher quality. Okay, so you guys already see what I'm trying to do here. I'm going to take some tweaking. I need to let some areas dry. This area in the front, just like this one, will be the last one I do. Come in real carefully behind. And just take turns pushing and pulling that color out until you're satisfied with the results and do the same thing on the top part. Okay, and just go back and forth until you are satisfied. All right, so this will take me a few moments, and yeah, this is natural light right here. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, I'm back, and what I'm going to do now really quickly, while that just dries for a moment, I'm going to go in with the very light wash of the pure Kaput Mortem, which is very heavy and purpley, and I'm just going to come in underneath this area right here and darken it up. Just kind of cleaning things up a bit, darkening up this area too, just a little bit, because as you can see, I can easily get carried away with this color. I am going to darken up right here. I guess Kaput Mortem is the color of the day for me, because I'm about to include it in the pumpkin as well. I mixed, if I could talk right, I mixed the burnt sienna with some Kaput Mortem, and that's going to be the color for the top pumpkin, just to give it a little something extra. And the same there. And to gently pull that up. I'm going to try to leave that little marking free of color. Let's see how far I get with that. Let's see how that Kaput Mortem just deepens it up. It goes even further. The same thing for this side. I also added a little bit of extra color to the nose and his little hands, just to, you know, clean them up, darken them up a bit. Don't know if you noticed that. And I added a little bit of extra color right there too, so yeah, it's coming out really good. Okay, so I just wanted the darkest value color to be towards these two areas right here and right in this area. Kind of bringing it out and pushing it back in. And I have found that the side belly of this brush is wonderful for just soft glazing, just like that. These areas down here will even out on their own. That's just been my experience, even though I really want to go in there and begin to get all fussy. Just adding a bit more of the burnt sienna right there, and the same thing. And just gently glide your brush like that. And because I just love to throw a wrench in there, I'm going to add some quinacridone gold, you guys. The same day that I purchased those Daler Rowney and the brush here, everything was buy one get one half off Winsor & Newton, so I purchased the quinacridone gold at the regular price, which I think was $10.50 or $11.50, and then I got the brush half off. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and retreat some of that with a little bit of the burnt sienna. I'm just going to apply it right there because let me tell you, this color is just magical. I'm going to just glaze everything, and yep, I'm just going to glaze everything. So let me use the larger brush. And what this will do for me is it will just smooth out any uneven edges. So far, so much for leaving that area without color. It'll smooth everything out. And this is something that I do on my own. You don't, you know, it's not right and it's not wrong. To me, it's right though, you know, it feels right. But it just, I don't know, I think it just intensifies everything, brings everything together, and yeah. All right, you guys, I think I'm on the home stretch here. He does look very, very nice. All right, I'm going to press pause because I need to mix the color for some shading because it's the standalone piece. So yeah, let me do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to take some of that leftover quinacridone gold and whatever I have left over from this color on my blending area, and I'm going to just add it in underneath certain areas here. I'm not worried about the areas that I need to fill out because that's going to be filled in with metallic watercolor. But you can see what I'm trying to do here is just to give everything a little bit of a extra zhuzh it up. So just carefully go around certain areas, and it does help that you have a second brush to just gently blend that out. And this will just make him stand alone, you know, on his own even nicer. Hope that made sense. I'm absolutely horrible at describing what I'm trying to do here, but you can clearly see it. I'm leaving open gaps on purpose. So and if this touches in the areas of, you know, the pumpkin or his dress or anything, I'm okay with it. Just give him a slight glow. Pointy brush is just everything. So nice. And it just ties everything together, I think, you know. Especially up here. This is nice. It's gonna pop up against the, I could put mortem color. Even bring that out a bit more. Very loosely with this brush. Yep. Just like that. This is what I would have done for lettering too. Back in the day, we would put the N95 color as a shader right around our lettering, and it just made everything pop. It actually made most, if not all, of the mistakes disappear too. So there's a reason for this too. Just add a little bit there. Might seem a little scary to do, especially after spending so much time trying to get everything right, but it does work out. And now this is like a portrait. It's like he went to Sears and got his picture taken. That's exactly what it is. He's no longer floating in midair. And then when I remove the tape, it's just going to give a nice border too. I am so glad that I did this while the sun is semi-decent outside. It is 4:09 and it is already going down behind the mountain. Okay, so just finishing up. Might as well bring this color into all the areas because I'm not going to use it again, so no waste. It does pucker up a bit of the paper here in the middle, so I got to be careful with that. I'll most likely use my heating tool to speed up the drawing process, but yeah. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry real quick. All right, getting out my heating tool. I'll be right back. All right, guys, really quickly, I'm going to add just a small amount of that Kessel earth color right here. And then just gently blend it out. Just like that. And then go around here, go around. Okay. And that definitely darkens that up. I did the same thing for this guy over here. And I'm going to go in one more time just to tidy up a few things. Okay. Little patchy there. I think that was me kind of overdoing it, like I'm doing now. And one more, one more. I'm gonna go in with a bit more of the burnt umber and Naples mixture. I just want to, let's see, it would be in this area, yep. Just want to add a little bit of something extra right over here. These are the details that would set your piece apart, you know, these final bits. Darkening up those corners. Just like that. Same thing down here. Pick an area where you want to add a bit more depth to it and just kind of corner that in. Let's grab some metallic watercolor. I'm going to be using some champagne. This is from Stephanie, who is Sparrow Scribbles, and I've had this color now for years. So let me grab the proper brush for that. Okay guys, I brought you in really close and I am using a quadruple zero brush here from Winsor & Newton, and I'm just going to add some of this color here, this beautiful color. I'm not too sure what Stephanie has in her shop because this color is several years old. You can see how much I still have of it because it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I do use it quite watered down just to make it easier to lay it down on the cotton watercolor paper. Sometimes, especially if I'm using the Beihong, the texture is a bit rough, but you can't really see much of a difference right now, but there will be. And I'm thinking we can also add it here. I'm not too concerned if not a lot gets into this area. I'm okay with that. However, I would love to add some of it up here. I've done that several times before, so I'll do it with you guys now. I didn't want to push this into what it's going now, but oh well. So I'm just adding some right there. And it does help when you flip it on its side and then push the color back in to the corner. And just go around it and then just push it back in. Clean your brush off. Just like that. And just gently pushing it to the side there. There we go. And then what you'll get after it's dry, you'll get a very soft sheen. Okay, just perfect example of just adding some of that color onto the side right here. And then just using a light damp brush and going over very gently this whole area, but pushing it back in. And again, when it dries, you'll get that beautiful sheen. It's already drying right there. And then the last one, I feel like I can do it right here. Yep, perfect. I'm dropping in a good amount too. The whole area to have like a nice soft shimmer to it, then so be it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry and we can do the peel reveal. Okay, real quick before the peel reveal, I forgot to do some splatter. This definitely adds a little something extra to your piece, and if you grab a good amount of the color on the brush, begin to drop in perfect little pearl dots. That's what I call them. Back in the day, that's what I used to use. Look at that. It was bound to happen. I'm gonna just finish it up, guys. Just excuse the yucky thumb. So just where you want a little something extra. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get just a few little, yep, perfect. Perfect. Woo! All right, you guys, let me go clean up my nasty thumb. I just wanted to bring you up close and show you how everything pretty much evens out. There's a few areas of mistakes that I did, but all in all, he's looking really good. And you can see that beautiful shimmer and those perfect little dots, I might say. Alrighty. Alright, you guys, I tried my best to put him in the position here in the ankle, and I did add a bit more individual dots to his little robe here and his mustache and the pumpkins. So again, this is the Dollar Tree brand masking tape, and 9 times out of 10 I get a nice clean border. Oh, wonderful. Usually when there is buildup of color, it's in this area right here, and I'm very happy that didn't happen today. Oh, very nice. Yep, I'm definitely losing light. I can tell. Color's getting washed out. Okay, here he is. We have our Pumpkin King. Sorry, Jack. No, actually, no one can beat Jack. See that really pretty shimmer? And all the little dots are drying up nicely. So I'm very happy with how everything came out. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. No matter how much of it you watched, I really appreciate you being here and being part of my growth. If you got this far, I don't know, mention 3K, because I'm up to 3K now. That's absolutely insane to me. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being part of my artistic journey, my journey through sobriety, my journey with mental health. I really appreciate you. And okay, I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye. Just one last look over, that's all. I'm so happy I was able to share this with you guys. Okay, until soon.